Now, of course, we all know that the black man is under attack. And the main point that I brought up long time ago was people have gotten hip and are trying to use the black woman to take down the black man. There is why I had a problem with a lot of the propaganda that I began to unravel. And obviously, what bled on into this case was the allegations that have been on these same platforms for years, unaddressed. But all of a sudden, when a so-called investigation was prompted by a janky ass documentary, oh, now everybody want to run to the platforms with their opinions, and that was all cool and dandy. But what we not gonna do is keep skipping around the fact that number one, from what I understand, R. Kelly is rearing his last stages for his appeal. So of course you see a lot of noise on this internet. You see a lot of distracting. You see people still more interested in his music and trying to promote that than actually getting this man the fuck up out that goddamn jail and focusing on what they need to do instead of playing stupid ass games on the internet. Now, let's just take a refresh on some shit that I put out here. Because like I said, the things that I began to observe happened well before Surviving R. Kelly. So when I watched Surviving R. Kelly and I saw what was unfolding, it didn't take a genius to recognize where this shit was going to go. So for people to come to the internet talking about they didn't expect shit to go as far as it went, I don't know where they was at. And I don't know if they didn't see what I saw. But the way it looked to me, oh yeah, somebody was going to jail. But when the only person that got locked the fuck up walking his goddamn dog was R. Kelly, and you sitting here trying to build this narrative of all of these enablers who then becomes a enterprise, but you ain't charging nobody but R. Kelly, oh, something ain't fucking right. But let's go.
Even if you get mad, even if you get
Yes,
offended,
ma'am.
so what you gonna do? Because I guarantee you can't beat me up.
You see. No, nope, nope, nope,
Pause.
nope, don't.
The first thing that you should have took from this video was me presenting you a quote unquote anonymous Jane Doe that they already put out there in the public with this storyline. Because if you recall, the same person that was fueling this engine, trying to do whatever they could to get R. Kelly locked up, that was doing whatever they could to activate all these wellness checks, that was doing everything they can, talking about, oh, 1 minute they want to beat up R. Kelly and do this in this janky ass mob suit with a baseball bat. So now you want to go sit down with the man and have a conversation at a radio station. To now you participating in this janky ass docuseries, because I'm going to emphasize again, he had no case. So what they did was strategize as they told us how they was going to get this man. It didn't take a genius to recognize where she would fall into the play. Now, speculating on the internet about how long she was involved in the takedown of R. Kelly, that ain't my thing. That ain't what I was interested in, because that's really irrelevant. How long she was plotting, when she started, whatever. The case was she was going to be needed as a motherfucking witness. That was the point. God damn.
Don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. Do not say anything to me. Joy is in jail for assault. So I feel so sorry for the both of you. Don't say anything other to me. I feel bad for you. I know, yes, you do. You do. You do. You do. You knew I was coming up here to give joy, and you lied to her. You lied to her.
So according to what she just said, R. Kelly knew she was coming up there to get Joycelyn, because they trying to present this notion like this man is in jail but still holding them hostage somehow. She coming back to get Joycelyn. She, in her mind, knows she finna spark some shit up, as she posted on her goddamn social media accounts that today's a good day to go to jail. She goes in there and she make this allegation that Joycelyn participated in some hanky-panky with her when she was a quote-unquote minor. We're going to set the stage to incriminate you because we want you to corroborate the shit that we're going to say. Let's go.
R. Kelly? Really? Really? Now, I gave him R. Kelly's jail records. Ask him how he got R. Kelly's jail records.
Hold on now. Y'all gonna have to hit the like now, because you know the haters be hating. You got to hit the like, because I'm finna break my shit down, because I get so fucking tired of people trying to tell me what I should have did, could have did, this, and that, because you was sitting here watching motherfuckers on this internet playing your face, talking about they come to free R. Kelly, all in the mix of his shit, but then getting on this internet playing with Prima Donna. Hit the like button.
Because ask him how I got the emails between Azrael and R. Kelly. So you mean to tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about?
Pause. Tasha K done came out here on this platform and told the whole wide world that she was given some confidential jail records, which the government will come back and say, well, he's a celebrity. It should be expected that his accounts are going to be leaked and da-da-da-da-da. But, let's not skip that she is telling us that she passed over said jail records to witnesses, parents, who then disseminated those jail records to the witness before she testifies. And people don't look at that as witness tampering. She coming out here telling you she got the records from whomever. People trying to speculate on whether she paid for it or not. In my opinion, that's irrelevant, because she knew exactly what she was going to do with it. Pass it to these janky ass parents and or a mediator, and then feed that to the witness. Why? Because they needed her, like I fucking been saying for years.
Mistake that the other person was in trouble. It did not. And there's a reason for that. You think we don't know? And I'm not saying that they can't pull no shit, but what I'm saying is I'm talking about the article at hand. There was a reason why the article didn't say what it said. And for people to make all these assumptions and oh boy, to be a lawyer, you should know. If the fans got something, they ain't gonna announce it.
Hold on now. Hit the like button. I'm telling you, the hate is real. Hit the like button. But check it. Tasha K go from getting that information, getting it to the parents, getting it to the witness, corrupts her thoughts from what she was thinking. The new attorney comes in upon fighting for an overturn and says, why wasn't there any arrest made, in so many words? If y'all know this man's confidential records have been disseminated out here and people were tapping in and had no business doing so, why weren't they prosecuted or penalized? Why was this person allegedly given the green way to go and retire, allegedly? Why was nothing done about this? Is what I got from what Tasha K said. So in so many words, she's putting you up to the fact that the way they moving out here they trying to technically keep the government's hands clean. But again, when you saw the shit playing out from the moment they came out here with the so-called money man, they came out here with the janky ass sisters, they came out here with all this janky ass information and skipped around the fact that the government was never trying to prosecute the smaller fish. They wanted the big fish. So while these people were sitting out here doing specific things and the prosecutors are questioning the reliability of the defense, meaning they didn't even want to hand over certain evidence, and which we'll get to later with Nicole coming out here saying how during this whole process of these so-called victims being anonymous, they can withhold so much information and then dump it on you last minute. So how can you properly defend your client, especially when you got a janky ass private investigator on YouTube going back and forth with bloggers? Make this shit make sense.
They already got it. And if they gonna do something with it, they gonna do something with it. Ain't gonna be no reporter letting people know ahead of time what's going on. When you hear Fed investigation, everybody know that. Guess what? You hear after they made arrests, okay? You hear after that.
Hold up. You heard what she said? She said that if the feds was gonna do something about it, we wouldn't have got no tip from no reporter, even though when it came to this whole debacle with R. Kelly, who came out here and announced that he was being investigated? Who? Tasha K, right? Her and her reliable sources that were putting shit in play, huh? Oh, okay.
But we're investigating. So I was like, to my lawyers, like, are they gonna stop the trial? I mean, what was leaked? I don't know. What if it was client attorney privilege or whatever you call that? I don't know if I said it right. But anyway, what if it was that? And they said, well, if it was, then we'll get a whole nother trial, or the trial could get dismissed if they leaked that kind of information.
Now pause. R. Kelly gets on the phone with this pre-arranged interview that was set up by some... Anyways, we ain't gonna get into that. This is just my point. These people be so fascinated with doing all this fugazi ass shit and then want to come for Prima because she clocking tea over here. But what she didn't do was get on here and over vocalize my opinions and break down the imagery that you see before you, because I knew people like to get on these apps and have selective amnesia and play like they don't know this and play like they don't know that. But at the end of the day, they knew exactly what they were doing when they was playing the fence with Azriel, aka Jane, in the paperwork. So if R. Kelly calls up the blogger, Storm, and says, the judge told me if they found out this and this happened, they would have to do this. But this is how they fuck the game up. They try to maneuver in the way they want to say in so many words because they didn't directly do this, and because they can't prove a payment was received, we're gonna just act like this shit ain't happened. You feel me? So while he telling you during the time that the judge was talking about declaring a mistrial, that while everybody was sitting around here still talking about this janky ass tape from 1999, this janky ass marriage certificate from 95, and this damn documentary, ain't nobody hearing what's going on. Corruption. Didn't nobody see the red flags from the beginning of the malicious prosecution? And how Kim Fox sat here and plotted with a man who pops up talking about he got some evidence that he takes on CNN. Why wouldn't that automatically raise red flags? And not only that, you have another attorney come out talking about they got a client with a tape he just found in his basement or his attic. I can't remember which one, but either way, he just randomly found this tape that was supposed to be basketball, and it happened to be R. Kelly. So instead of going to the police, he went and got a lawyer on the line, which is the same cycle we keep seeing over and over, even when it came back to Sparkle. Okay? We keep seeing the same playbook over and over. So let's pause R. Kelly and think about what's going on with Diddy and how this lawyer in specific came out and told us that she was hit up with this person who said they had 3 so-called Diddy tapes and they were trying to sell them. Somebody make this shit make sense. You got an attorney that's on these platforms talking about it's her duty as an officer of the court to report this and to report that. And then turn back around and tell us that she normally gets phone calls just like this of people calling her trying to sell a tape to the victim on the tape instead of taking the shit to the fucking police. Somebody make it make sense. But let's back to R. Kelly and what he's explaining to Storm about his conduct that was swept under the rug that should have been declared as a mistrial when it came to R. Kelly, that people were too distracted talking about dumb shit.
I said, well, what if I get found guilty? And then we found out that was the case. It'd kind of be too late, wouldn't it?
Right, right.
But they didn't have answers for that.
Dang. So they just kind of basically just left it up in the air.
Did. That's exactly what the fuck they did. They left that shit up in the motherfucking air. If you get convicted, even though some janky shit happened to you, oh fucking well, because it's gonna be up for your goddamn defense to ring the alarm, to do something about it. The fuck? Not no blogger.
Yeah, but they said, but the judge is not stopping the trial because, trial is going, but they will be investigating it. But the problem is that if you say you're going to investigate it, this is the 2021, then here it is 2023. Why don't I have to conclude? Of the investigation, and why am I not
right
to get that, and why is my lawyer telling me that they're not sharing it with us? So that's the problem I'm having as well. Look, man.
But let's also pause, because R. Kelly also had a conflict of interest hearing in which his power of attorney came out here and let one of his other attorneys go right at crunch time. They also mentioned some inappropriate contacts between his attorney, Nicole Becker, and the witness, Jane. I wonder if some people out there know what was going on with that. Talk about that, But nonetheless, while they was out here on these platforms talking about Nicole and Azriel was sleeping together and all that dumb shit, they get mad at me because I ain't finna involve myself like them.
There's a whole lot of strange things and questions around this. I know this, Storm. I wrote a little something out.
Okay.
It'll take me a minute because it's hard to read my own. Right. But I know what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So I said, I know Tasha is out there saying she didn't pay or ask for the BOP information. But here's the thing. She said out of her own mouth that she shared it with, This call is from a federal prison. About that. She said out of her own mouth that she shared my private restricted law enforcement information with government witness, key witness in my case. Now, just for a second, let's talk about restricted. Restricted means restricted. That means you don't tamper with it, you don't mess with it, you don't leak it out, you don't share it.
Right.
Just like a restricted area, you don't go in it.
And if you do, there's consequences. Yeah. I said, and if you do, there's consequences.
Yeah, it's laws in place that you will suffer consequences with it. Yeah. And let's now just for a second, let's talk about key witnesses.
Oh, they is tripping. Y'all gonna have to hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Yeah, Audra, I'm finna get you on the fuck up out of here because I'm tired of you. You got a whole motherfucking channel right there that you don't post a goddamn thing on. For you to be in my motherfucking comments talking about I must break down the evidence, such as I ain't got to do a motherfucking thing. That's where you got me fucked up. Fuck is you talking about? See, and also if you want a little insight, I posted specific shit on my platform yesterday just to prove a point. And what happened? I got a motherfucking strike. That was actually a warning because I keep my channel in good standing. But never the point is the shit that you want to break down, you could go break down on your own shit because I'm not finna lose my channel because you want specific shit broke down that I ain't finna be fucking focused on. I'm not a fucking attorney up here trying to present no motherfucking defense or no evidence I don't have. What I have is information from the goddamn internet that you could readily get on and present your own fucking way. Fuck is you talking about? Sick of your ass. Back to what the fuck I was doing, bitch. Getting my motherfucking nerves.
A key witness in any trial is supposed to be a witness. The prosecutor is banking on making their case strong. The key witness is the witness the prosecutor is depending on to bring the smoking gun testimony in their case. This key witness is the one who the prosecutor is looking to win the jury over in their case. This is why they're called key witnesses, like the star of the show, you know. So in my case, Tasha K decided to just break federal law and share all of my restricted information that she got from a BOP disciplinary hearing officer with the prosecutor's key witness.
Yep. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry.
So after she get this information, then she
For you. I am so sorry for you.
I'm so stressed.
Oh, it's there. It's done. It's done. There. It's done. It's over. It's over. You may not even make it to trial. I'm so sorry for you. I'm sorry. I really did love you. And you lied to me, and you used me, and you played me.
I love you so.
Yes, you did, Bear. Yes, you did, Bear. Bye.
Now, while people were on the internet going back and forth trying to figure out if that was really R. Kelly or not, I don't think they paying attention to the bigger or stronger message. They got their witness to cooperate. So what I was pointing out in these indictments from day one, they would say certain things like, this witness is expected to testify. Okay, expected to testify and going to testify are two different statements. So from that point, I started looking at this. I started looking at shit like this going on open display on this internet, not just with her, but with so many others getting together, conspiring, and then coming live to do this bullshit. Ain't no way you finna be in my comments talking about what I need to motherfucking break down and what I need to do and this and this and this and that. I did what the fuck I said I was gonna do. Document this shit for later review. Challenge you to do your own breakdowns. Challenge you to do your own research. Challenge you to get on your shit, stand in your shit, stop trying to tell me what the fuck to do and recognize what the fuck I'm showing you. Fuck is you talking about?
Listen, the truth gonna come out, goddammit. You keep on fucking with my daughter, the truth is gonna come out. You need to fucking leave her alone.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, hold on. Back up. So Tamara knows already?
Yeah.
She know the truth?
Hell yeah, I told her.
So then I don't understand how they know all of the truth about these people, but they still allowing them to be a part of it.
So pause. These people gave individuals the platform to go along with these storylines to help shape these narratives, right? They knew from the moment they were going to release this shit, it wasn't true. But you got investigators talking about this is what sparked their investigation. Interesting.
Well, you know why? They spent over $3, $4, $5 million, and it's too late to edit that shit and take them out.
For Cook County prosecutors dropping state charges against singer R. Kelly.
Jim and Erica, exactly. The reason the charges were dropped is because Kelly is already convicted in 2 separate federal cases. He was sentenced to 30 years in New York, and he'll be sentenced next month here in Chicago and faces anywhere from 10 to 90 years in that case. Since he is facing so much time in prison, Fox said that really factored into her decision not to move forward with the cases. Now,
No. What really factored into your mind was the fact that you would have had a hard-ass time proving your case before there was a RICO set in place. What may have prompted this damn RICO? I don't know, maybe a terroristic threat in New York, perhaps? Maybe the same thing that some of these other witnesses and other participants in surviving R. Kelly are suing R. Kelly about, that he clearly came out here and said he knew nothing about.
4 cases brought by Kim Foxx's office here in Cook County accused Kelly of sexual abuse or assault, and those charges were filed back in February of 2019. The announcement came following a renewed interest in the case. After the airing of the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly.
You know what my problem is? All these people with these stories that I was able to pick up on, my major emphasis is the janky evidence that they're coming out here showing that gives more reasonable doubt to picking up on the fraud going on. RICO. Just keep thinking about this shit.
So, yes, I did have sex with Bubba as well. No, we did not have a threesome, but me and Bubba had another relationship outside of Rob.
I'm not gonna turn shit down, but you really gonna sit here and lie to these people, Angelo? Like, for real, my nigga, you supposed to say that.
Hold on now. Pause. I forgot. When other people get implicated, such as this character, Bubba, and other so-called bad act witnesses come out corroborating they know this person, and they also over here mingling with the Team Lies group who's pushing their storylines but want to be anonymous in court. Okay? Then we have the fallouts that started to happen and bleed onto these platforms that would just show you when you come together, conspiring, trying to make some fucked up shit happen, you might win at first, but it ain't always gonna be in your favor. Know that.
Listen, too many people know. Listen. Do you know I got the video, right? Listen,
You liar, dude. You are a fucking liar.
Well, I don't know either.
She called Tamara after I told her. I said, listen, the truth gonna come out, goddammit. You keep on fucking with my daughter, the truth is gonna come out. You need to fucking leave her alone.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, hold on. Back up. So Tamara knows already?
So you catch what he's saying? And it's just strange that everybody saw it happening. Every time they would get mad at each other, they would expose certain stuff. And even before there were charges, you have people who were coming out here leaking these recordings, leaking this so-called evidence onto social media. Where in history have you seen some shit like that happen unchecked?
Yeah.
She know the truth?
Hell yeah, I told her.
So then I don't understand how they know all of the truth about these people, but they still allowing them to be a part of it.
But you know why? They spent over $3, $4, $5 million, and it's too late to edit that shit and take them out.
That's some crazy shit. Now I can see y'all and y'all daughters, but if you know that, these other girls are being dishonest, my thing is, what makes you think that it's not gonna come out later and then you're gonna look like a damn fool?
Exactly.
That's exactly what they did. All of them. They came out here looking like some fools to the people that's really watching what's going on. The books, the nonstop back and forth with their posts and tweets and trying to prove this point and that point and throwing this person under the bus and throwing that person under the bus without recognizing that that's just giving reasonable doubt to what's being presented.
So, and he hadn't been proven guilty, so they couldn't forfeit the assets. But what they could have done was put him in another holding facility. So we was like, listen, that's the only thing we got that we have to negotiate with. So me, Keith, Santee, and my mom. mom set up my living room table.
Why are y'all still profiting off this man?
In the middle of all of these allegations, R. Kelly's just dropping music.
I believe I can fly. Songs like Ignition.
It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen.
I wish.
See you again someday. Yeah. Cause there is something that I want from you.
A very talented young man.
Boy, be brave. Don't be afraid. We're gonna go all the way.
Believe I can fly.
They playing, but notice the specific songs they highlight in this docuseries to tear him down, knowing they finna run up these streams on what's being played.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen. See you again someday. Yeah. Cause there is something that I want from you. Boy, be brave. Don't be afraid. Be brave, don't be afraid. We're gonna.
I challenge you to go look up all these songs and look up all the money that was generated from this. So to think about people talking about mute R. Kelly to Sony, but over here profiting with this surviving R. Kelly with Lifetime Network. It's very interesting.
I admit that I don't own my music. I admit that I will on my music. Want it back, but they don't want to do it. What the fuck, nigga? I wrote that music. I did that bumping ground. I did that 12.
I am handcuffed, like a lot of you motherfuckers. I'm handcuffed by my destiny. It's too late. They should have did it 30 years ago. It's too late.
They try to spin that shit. Well, you know how they try to spin that shit. But the point was, if more people were rallying and calling out this shit instead of jumping in people's comments talking about what they should do, it might have hit different. You feel me? This who they say is Sparkle's niece, who a journalist was able to readily identify, knowing that that had to be Sparkle's niece, coincidentally. Point to this day, you can go and type this in and see whatever you need to see, come up with whatever response you want to come up with, but just know it's a defense team's responsibility to defend a client in court. Before situations like this arise, it is a whole team of people working with you's responsibility to protect you from certain things like this. But when things had progressed to the point that they went to, ain't no way in the world you think I'm finna be on this internet trying to break down some shit I wasn't a party to. That I'm just challenging you to go do your own homework before you feel some type of way. You feel me? They said I didn't show that part. They told me I didn't show this. That is interesting when people tell me what I ain't do. You feel me?
The terrible decision making of her.
But just pause. Drop in the comments. Have I ever made you feel like I felt like anything more than there is deception and some janky shit going on with that tape? I ain't finna be zooming in. I ain't finna be pointing out this, and that. The overall message is the evidence in question is janky, is not authentic, could have been properly identified, or maybe clearer image with security footage, perhaps, that we all have heard previous bodyguards say he had. We have heard people like his brother come out here and say there were certain incidents where I ain't even finna go back into that. You just have to go back to other videos to freshen up on what was said. But the overall point is it's a lot of back and forth that went on between the so-called evidence in question, especially when it wasn't authentic. So to have a person who initiated all of this with the tape in question, who you can go and research and figure out all of that network that I've already talked about, it will be shocking that after the trial, she comes forth and says this.
Her mom. And in my opinion, the unfortunate continuing allegiance to Robert. As the youngest of the group, and all I've ever known was family and community. So I operated from that space from the beginning of my career by bringing them in to show them that it was not just about me, but about us getting this record deal that I was about to get. We were a gospel group just years prior. So me thinking about them for them was partly programmed in me. All I knew. Again, because Robert was given the opportunity to have his own imprint record label, I introduced my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece to Robert at CRC Studios in '97 in hopes of landing my niece a career as an artist in this industry. Not a concert, as she testified. I didn't stop there. I asked Robert to check out my brother-in-law, who played the guitar, and other family members in hopes he'd assist them with their musical careers as well. I'm saying this again to say not all that you heard yesterday from my niece is true. I don't want to hinder this legal process, I don't, but to testify that I had my niece sit on Robert's lap and rub his head and have her ask him to be her godfather is an absolute fucking lie. Another lie. Robert and I were never in a romantic relationship. Never.
So we're going to point out absolute fucking lies. We ain't going to question the credibility of the witness in question. So doing all this over analyzing this and over analyzing that ain't what I'm here to do. So I think people be getting that confused. So when it goes to certain images you'll see, it's only to trigger certain references, such as, let's say, Dillion Richards, for example. Back then, they was talking about she was on the tape because this was a thing that was going around. Same thing we see going on these platforms today. These so-called sex tapes being shopped around and people being extorted, but that's another topic.
To show you sabotage is a highly priority within them. If Robert and I were in a romantic relationship, you and your mom was cool allowing you to start a relationship with him, again, no right answers for their actions, intentions. And all I've gotten from it is hell. This is not how we were raised, and it has fucked up family names, relationships, and the death, allegedly. Enough is enough. I've endured being not believed before, so my niece's false statements don't bother me as much as her mindset and willingness to tell the lie. So this is all I'm going to say regarding her and her mother, unless I have to.
So never mind the fact that I gave you some key names well before there was a trial, considering that Miss Lisa Van Allen, who went and lied to the public talking about she was a minor when specific things occurred with her and this so-called victim, come to find out in the trial, just as I've been saying, she was 18. But in order to corrupt the minds of logical thinking people, we just gonna keep playing around with these girls were 17 and this and that. Nobody will ever open the door for conversations when it comes to the age of consent varying in each state. Nonetheless, when people can get on a platform, tell these stories, witnesses can get on the stand and get immunity for basically talking about an extortion plot that the government tried to present as obstruction of justice, that takes a little more precedence than what some people think people should be doing, especially when you hire somebody to defend you against the allegations they're waging against you. Instead of playing on this internet. So anywho, let's go on over here and watch what Nicole had to say in reference to Diddy snitching, as she pretty much got to, compared to why R. Kelly didn't drop no names. Hold on, let me find it. Let me get the link.
And speaking out. And she said Diddy could drop big names in his trial. This is huge. This is what I've been talking about. I was like, is he going to name other names to possibly get a lower sentence or just whatever the case may be? We're going to check this out. I just want to hear what she has to say. Again, appreciate all the love and support with you guys coming over. I did also hear that he was denied. He was trying to extend the trial, but they saying it's going to be set for May 5th. That's what the judge said. So
Let me just pause for a second, because it would be so different, or I guess proper, if they would ask these people when they come on the platform, such as her, are they a current attorney or past attorney? Because if you read the paperwork in R. Kelly's case, his new attorney came in and separated this specific attorney from any further goings with his case. You know why? Because if you go and check out the new paperwork that's out, that I'm still trying to look through and gather through, because it's quite a lot of paperwork. But the first key point she's bringing out was lack of evidence and ineffective counsel. So like I said back when R. Kelly had his conflict of interest hearing, if he chose to proceed with certain individuals and allow other people to be brought onto his defense who still dropped the ball, what can I do? What's the point in me getting on my platform talking about this, and that? What? I can't help the situation in no form or fashion other than spread awareness to what I've been documenting that has been going on, that I've come to the realization about some of these allegations that I can have my opinion about without coming on this platform and over analyzing, instead of challenging you to go and dig into some of the things that I'm showing you. Okay?
Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
When R. Kelly was first, he was charged state-wise. People start to leave, right? The same people you depended on, now they're slowly going away. And I suppose in any matter, people want
hot to the fuck. She said the same. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this a couple times because she had me. I had to watch this. I ain't gonna lie. I watched it twice. I had to watch it twice, and she had me on this jump. But she said the same people that was there gone away. We ain't seen her since the trial. We ain't seen her since, according to the paperwork, she started her shit off talking about my client is guilty. I mean, innocent. The fuck? How you gonna be on the front line having tongue ties and shit like that? But you want to get on this bitch talking about what Diddy finna do? The fuck?
want to get away from danger, right? It's a human instinct. However,
I wonder why he ain't ask her, hey, so what made you do that leg shaking challenge with your shirt off, lawyer? Was that just for clout?
what happens to individuals like Diddy or R. Kelly, who are used to having these people, friends, bodyguards, whoever it is around them 24/7, they have extended themselves for them. And then you get charged with something and they flee. It is such a dehumanizing feeling. I know that that's how R. Kelly felt. I personally, one of the things I was responsible for was talking to some of his prior boys, for lack of a better word. Some people weren't answering their phones. It is crazy. And I get it in the one hand, right? Nobody wants to associate themselves with someone who's being charged with a crime like this.
Right.
However, if you are there and you know that these facts did not go down the way this person is saying they went down, and you're running, it says a lot. And
why in the entire book can this lady right here get on here and say some shit that I echoed a long time ago when I side-eyed some of these people that were gracing these platforms saying some pretty bogus ass shit, but looking at me because I'm just screenshotting and recording the shit. According to her, wasn't nobody picking up the phone. Wasn't nobody coming to say, hey, this ain't happened. Hey, no, it didn't go down like that. Even though certain people were being implicated, they didn't come out here to clear their name. Nope. They look janky as fuck. But I'm going to be mad at Prima Donna for keep getting on her saying that shit, because she also ain't finna go so goddamn hard trying to build a damn YouTube defense to appease no fucking body. This ain't my damn job. You feel me? The fuck?
Everyone ditched R. Kelly. Okay. Now, there's a huge difference, though, between R. Kelly's fans and friends and Diddy's fans and friends. R. Kelly kept his grassroots friends, people that he had worked for him. It wasn't celebrity. He didn't branch out and do things because his gift, for lack of better words, was singing. Where P. Diddy surrounded himself always with the best of the best, the actors who are the best actors, the elite. I don't even have to go into all the people that he's named. Right. There is a video on YouTube. And it's on every social media, where Diddy names off all these people, okay? And at the time, which was prior to his arrest, I'm not sure that the world really knew what that was about, right? At the end of it, he says something to the effect of, all these people knew they had a responsibility to me to call me and take my calls back in around Easter. he claims, because it's and that was posted around that time, 6 months about before he got arrested. If I'm going down, y'all going down with me.
Here we go.
What that is, and I've talked about this with R. Kelly, okay? He is saying, listen, guys, none of y'all are calling me back. None of y'all are listening. None of y'all want to talk to me now. Well, guess what? I'm going down, and that's fine. But you're going to go down with me.
I said that so
and
many
it's
times.
just so, it's fascinating to watch it, not know what it is, and then all of a sudden we can kind of put the pieces together. So originally, I would say to you, I wouldn't think that Diddy would snitch. The old saying, you know, snitches end up in ditches, right? And it's not looked at as a cool thing. However, after speaking to a number of people in the game, for lack of better words, when you're a music mogul, right? And you, lack of better words, snitch, okay? It's not the same as when the gangsters were snitching.
Right,
okay?
right.
Gangsters snitched and that person ends up dead. That's how it works. But these are worlds of not gangsters with R. Kelly or with P. Diddy. These are a lot of them are sophisticated individuals.
They're not looked at
so
as
if
tough.
he flips, it's not like there's going to be a hit out on him. So it's just a world. And I would say that it is very possible when Diddy recognizes that they have as much information as they do, which he's not going to even know it all for quite some time. He may be trying to figure out, hey, I give you this info, what's that going to do for me? And I wouldn't be surprised if those types of negotiations occur and continue, because Robert was, you know, king of pop, or, you know, he had such a influence.
When somebody said he the damn king of pop, that's what I'm saying. You defended this man, you can't even get your goddamn shit together. I can't.
On so many people in all ranges of ages. Okay. Every TV, you know, was focused on this. Every TV station, every radio station, it was really crazy. Social media, right? What I believe is that all of that paved the road. So now we've got Diddy. And now Diddy is going to go into that exact same type of formation, i.e. the charge of RICO. But Diddy's now got big names coming along with him. So just like Epstein, if you recall, that case had very, very big names as well. We didn't get too deep into that one because obviously we couldn't, because he was no longer around. So that just closed that up.
Right.
But with Diddy, I mean, these people that are also named, I anticipate that every single one of them has been talked to by the feds. Now, whether or not they're doing anything with that, I mean, they don't need them. They don't, to take Diddy down, they don't need any superstars. But obviously they're trying to dot all their I's and cross all their T's to make sure that what they're claiming is real. Even though I can tell you that whatever you see in the media or you see in the news or whatever, a lot of it isn't true. And I can tell you that because I was obviously on the inside with R. Kelly's case, and I would just sit there half the time and be like laughing because it's just so not true. So I appreciate that I'm able to talk here, you know, about the reality.
It is so not true, but somehow, while you laughing, this man got lined up to take a great fall. And while you over here talking about the big names that Diddy could very well drop, considering he had big ties, even people are bringing out his Epstein connection, and everybody skip around the whole relevance in me talking about Epstein and some coinkadinka things that people overlooked, but that's neither here nor there. Moving along.
Of unfortunately, you know, what our world is seeing and what's going on.
Inside
Diddy does not know what he was about to get into. In other words, R. Kelly, who I represent, he went through the same situation. He was in Brooklyn prison. You
mean represented? Who you represented? Dropped the ball.
Experienced those prison guards. He was in the, as they like to call it, the special housing unit, which is nothing like we in the public would think the special housing unit is. So these individuals go from, you know, having everything literally at their fingertips,
yes,
to begging to make a phone call to their lawyer, to begging to have some type of food that's edible. I mean, it's real. The special housing unit is the shoe. It's isolation. So Robert went through it as well, R. Kelly, and I am confident that P. Diddy is going through that as well. And it just messes with your mind.
So with that being said, when certain individual would come out here and put certain narratives out here and drop all these goddamn recordings, and they drop these emails and all this other janky shit, I'm keeping in mind, you never know what a person's state of mind, you never know why they're behaving the way they are, or why they're going along with people they might not know are setting them up for a great fall. So who am I as the blogger to be talking about what he should be doing and could be doing when that ain't gonna help a motherfucking thing, regardless of what anybody thinks? Yeah, I can get on here and talk about it. What's that's gonna help him? He is in jail. The fuck? People is crazy out here.
P. Diddy is charged with RICO. Okay. What is that? Well, basically what it means is he is the head of an enterprise. And this is how they're going to start getting everybody else who is similarly situated in this type of, like I said, this kind of architecture, right? They're going to just plug people in. So the charges are pretty much exactly the same. Some of the allegations are a little different. Initially, everyone was thinking that Diddy's cases only had to do with adults. So that's a big, significant difference, which we all know now that there's lawyers who have come out representing alleged victims. Who were as young as 9 years old. Okay. So
again, that's another part that people like me have issues when they spent all these millions rolling out this Surviving R. Kelly campaign with all these sagas, all these spin-offs on these books, all these articles that were put in place all these years ago, up until now, all this effort that went into shaping this narrative about R. Kelly. Meanwhile, people straddle the fence when it comes to Diddy. And it's all because certain footage, in my opinion, was leaked to CNN of what he did to Cassie, prompting her civil lawsuit, setting the precedence yet again for how this shit goes and how they're building these new age RICOs. But nonetheless, when they go and drop this secret footage to CNN, and when people forgot how certain evidence, quote, the infamous tapes, were dropped or brought to CNN to be shown to individuals who then comes out and say on a live recording that she couldn't verify the age of the person on the tape. But yet people are so adamant in trying to prove it is in a court of public opinion. Is it my obligation to come out here and try to change their perspective when I can only challenge them to go and relook at certain facts? Take away your emotions and how you've been programmed to look at the things they put out here. Think about all the things you may have witnessed. And let's not forget why I challenged a lot of individuals who came out here pushing certain narratives when it came to R. Kelly, when according to his last defense, they weren't really receptive to answering the phone, for example. But we could get these little janky recordings of him doing this and doing that. And we can have talks now about this new proposed album dropping. But we can skip how yet again, even with all these allegations that were waged against R. Kelly, even though the very network that used the same music that they say mute to generate more sales for these record labels, not R. Kelly. It's just a little questionable to me that people don't talk about that. Because ain't nothing we could do about the past. Ain't no could have been, should have been, nothing at this point. It's what's it gonna be. I'm not gonna keep going backwards to appease nobody that's late to the party. You're gonna have to catch up your own self. You're gonna have to do your own footwork, because we're gonna have to move forward when it comes to growing what's going on over here. Jumping back in the algorithms, getting my channel back right. Not going back over the same shit over and over and over and over, talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with R. Kelly, but yet you seeing exactly why I side-eyed a lot of people who played defense when stuff was going down, tried to make me look crazy when I'm just screenshotting it because it is crazy. Ain't no way you see the same stuff happening in R. Kelly case and others. You don't see nobody in Diddy's case on here talking about they raising no money, doing this, sending money over here, doing all this shit, getting debit cards and all this crazy shit that was going on.
So the allegations, and listen, in Robert's case, what the one I did in New York, it had no kids at all. But everybody just automatically links that in their head when they hear that, oh, they're being charged with what? So let me get back. The RICO charge has P. Diddy up here, which is exactly where R. Kelly was, right? They're the head of what we call this enterprise. Everyone underneath them i.e., security, housekeepers,
limo drivers,
buddies of his, anyone on the payroll. They're here. They make up the conglomerate of Diddy's enterprise, right? I.e., the allegation is they allowed for things.
So let's pause. She's telling you that even though so many people recognize some of the key points that I recognize going on in this case, such as people allegedly trying to bribe Jane, allegedly trying to blow up her car, and things like that going on, that had one specific person going from a fan to a John Doe. You got her telling you that even though R. Kelly ain't do specific things, they're doing it for the betterment of him. And at first, people were making it a point about finance, in which usually that's what it is. Usually somebody's financially benefiting. But the way the government playing this game, they looking at it with an open door of benefiting, even if that's just sexually. Even if that just fits his desires. If you're doing this for him, we're going to put this under this umbrella of RICO. But we had certain people on the internet forming these alliances with people who were trying to cover up their involvements. We had people who could have readily shut down specific narratives and storylines that were put out here. But instead, we saw people rallying up together to talk about bullshit, but asking me to overanalyze this and overanalyze that like they finna send me a check.
To happen for the benefit of the head person, i.e., R. Kelly or Diddy, right? And then from there, there's got to be an underlying predicate felony. There's got to be something that they can attach R. Kelly to or P. Diddy to. And in Diddy's case, they've got a couple felonies listed, including like arson, things that you wouldn't expect to be part of enterprise. Have that. So they must have connected one of those crimes to New York. And that's how he is now in New York in the federal court, just like Robert was. They connected something to.
Ain't that what Prima said? Didn't I tell you a specific event occurred that prompted the RICO? That people got on this platform, oh, they didn't do it, they meant to do it, they didn't, all this bullshit. Telling me what I should do. Who dusty? Y'all dusty. And disgusting.
New York. And coincidentally, they both ended up in the same place. I say this all the time, like they should talk to us who went through this before. We walked these steps before. There's so much, it's almost impossible to get everything together in an appropriate way and a timing that's necessary to prepare. We were coming into court within weeks, just before, even before the trial started, getting hundreds, if not thousands, of pages of discovery. Do you know how impossible that they just pile it on? So I would tell them, and I am sure they're anticipating this, but they can't possibly fathom what the government has, because the government in a federal case doesn't have to tell them until they put the witness up on the stand. Literally, they could hand over the discovery, which is like the police reports or videos or whatever, at that very moment. Now, fortunately, we got time to do all the proper research in the morning. So I would tell them that there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and that it would be imperative, just like anyone else would do, if someone was similarly situated, I would talk to them to try and figure out how the heck do we fight this somewhat unknown battle. Definitely gives us a huge disadvantage when we're all supposed to be working under the same fundamental values, right? Innocent until proven guilty. I, with my whole heart, unfortunately, I feel as though it certainly has become you are guilty until proven innocent. And that rule, that federal rule, does not help that statement.
That's what's crazy. Because that was the major emphasis of everything that I say on my platform. Not to appease certain individuals and not to keep being repetitive with certain things. But the fact of the matter is, to go into court and be handicapped by not being able to properly defend this man, being engulfed with a lot of people who may not have his best interest at heart, and having so many people in the world believe, well, he was convicted, so he must be guilty. Even though so many people went into this, well, he got arrested, he must be guilty. Before that, he's not saying anything to dispute this, he must be guilty. But nobody can comprehend the simple message behind the point in me documenting how it went wrong in R. Kelly's case. But clearly Diddy went over here and got Brian Steele from Young Thug's case to fight his RICO. Not some random person who is well known for not doing anything for their client in the first place. But it seemed like to me, just looking back, like I pointed out then, it seemed like these people were willing to run to anybody that would give the appearance they're trying to help a situation, even though really, no, these people were way over their head. Whether they were aware of people's involvement in corrupting this whole investigation and case, in my opinion, does not change the fact that his defense now, in my opinion, is going to have to come back and refute the information that was presented in court. So when she comes out here and she highlights ineffective counsel, and this lady on here basically essentially confirming that they weren't like to be overwhelmed with all of that information and to be distracted by certain information that is not valid and not be able to provide key people who can get on that stand and refute these testimonies that are being used, not evidence, as Jennifer Bongine should elaborate on. The evidence they claim they had was not up to par in proving the specific allegations waged against this man, is the point. So harping over simple things didn't make any sense to me. Being engulfed with the back and forths didn't make any sense to me, especially when you have a person put into position that's supposed to be the private investigator engulfed in this fuckery. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be looking with the side eye too. This is crazy as hell. But what I like to say is this shit is janky. But nonetheless, the point in this live was to show y'all the interview and to just make sure y'all saw the things she put out there that I saw. Reflect on all the things that we saw playing on these platforms if you saw them. If you didn't see it, maybe you can go on certain pages and revisit certain videos. If they haven't deleted them or hid them, maybe. Because clearly, some people were here to document a trail of information that people can go back and watch, instead of getting on here playing lead detective, playing YouTube lawyer, when it don't make any sense and it's not going to help the man that's sitting in jail. I don't think he could utilize anything from people posting videos talking about their perspective or highlighting key points. I think that would be, again, the purpose of having a proper defense in place instead of capping on the internet. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this live. Until the next time, I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night or morning, whichever you want to look at it. But yeah, see you later.